Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Another FPL podcast with me, Dom, and my good friend James.
Morning everyone, how are we doing?
Hope we are all doing well. We're going to have a quick look at our game week 19 scores, which was of course the double game week. James, how did you get on?
So I got a 97 dummy with a -4. So I'm now up to 706k in the world. Nothing really to talk about with the captaincy wise. Obviously, Captain De Bruyne. Big shout out to my two transfers. Brought in John Stones and Mikel Antonio. So with the -4, I'm actually 41 points up on my moves. So really happy with that. And now looking to kick on, mate. So what about you?
Absolutely lovely. Oddly, because you captained KDB, I went captain Salah, but I managed to get 97 points as well with a -4. So that's an overall rank of 124,350. I'm not too displeased with that. I mean, Salah's probably got to be the most disappointing shout going forward, and I suppose we're going to talk a little bit later about Salah as well. Look, I had so many good captain options. Antonio was a good pick. It was a good gut feeling. A lot went there. Imagine if you captain John Stones. That's amazing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And it's going all right so far. So let's go straight on then to game week 20. Importantly, we've both got KDB in our team, and we've had the news that KDB is going to be out for what they reckon 4 to 6 weeks. Now, knowing Pep and Man City, it'll probably be 4 to 6 days.
Exactly.
But if we take it legitimately and say he's out for that 4 to 6 weeks, everyone is going to be looking for a KDB replacement. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's obviously massive news. I think pretty much everyone in our mini league's got him. Surprisingly, he's only 25% owned. I think we've mentioned that a few times, how low ownership he is actually on the game. But, I think the replacements for me you have to be looking at replacing him with another Man City midfielder. Personally, I can't not go into these next few games without having a Man City attacker. So shortlist, I think the informed Gundogan's a great shout. Sterling, is he going to take the leadership role in that in them attacking positions and, kick on? Or you could look elsewhere. I think you could look at the Leicester boys with Barnes and Maddison.
That was a great shout by you on the last pod, by the way, with James Maddison, wasn't it? He got braced, didn't he? He got 17 points.
Yeah, 17. And shame I obviously didn't have him in my team, but yeah, no, he paid off and, well, not really paid off for me, but yeah, as a shout, put my neck on the line and he's looking really good. But it'd be interesting to see how these Leicester boys do cope without Vardy. Moving on to Vardy, sorry, in a bit. But yeah, no, other shouts with KDB, Rashford, Pogba for United, maybe. And then a wild swing would be Aubameyang. But personally, yeah, I'm looking at going with another Man City player because I can't not have a Man City attacker for these next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you there. If we were to have a look at the game difficulty checker, I mean, City do still have 3 really nice fixtures coming up.
Yeah,
the injury to Kevin De Bruyne is annoying. He is only about, I think it's about 25% owned, so there aren't going to be a lot of managers in the same boat. Now, interestingly, your first shout there, and I think the way you're looking at going is Sterling. Now, it's almost like that's the obvious choice, and I feel that 99% of the managers who are going to be transferring KDB out probably will go Sterling. If you look at Sterling, you're going to tell me that Dom he's only had 2 blanks this season, and one of them was a missed penalty. Now,
3 blanks he's had in the last 9. In the last 9 games.
Well, there you go. So I told you were going to tell me something about that. Which, I mean, it is really good. There are other options, I feel. I feel that with that money, it depends on your strategy. If you think that you want someone to hold Kevin De Bruyne's place, then going for someone who is similar in price is going to make that transfer really easy for you to then transfer back to KDB in 4.
Yeah, flexibility, isn't it?
Long. watching Sterling and watching how he's played and what's been going on at City, he doesn't look like previous seasons to me, this Sterling. And you just said about the Leicester boys, which, by the way, again, Maddie was a great shout. Barnes looks like he's coming of age as well. He's looking like a really exciting player.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think they'll be the same force without Vardy. And equally, I don't know if Man City will be the same beast without KDB, because he has been unreal this
Yeah, he's
season.
instrumental, isn't he?
And when he plays bad and when he doesn't get that goal or assist, they do struggle to get goals. So I understand that people will want to go to Sterling, but I do feel that you could look elsewhere, especially when they got that tricky game to West Brom away, which give me a couple of weeks ago, I'd say that's a 4-5, that's a cricket score almost. But now I don't know how that game's going to turn out. So I would draw your attention away from City, especially if you've got two City defenders. I think you've covered that. I think they're more likely to get a clean sheet against West Brom than you are picking out whether Sterling's going to get a brace. But
yeah, of course.
I would bring up a few players. I can't ignore Manchester United at the moment. I think Manchester United, they've got the nice victory against Sheffield United. Sheffield United have looked like they're getting a little bit stronger of late. But this United team can create chances at any will. Yes, they may not have been scoring the same amount of goals that they have been. Played a good, solid defence in Burnley. But going to Sheffield United, I wouldn't put you off transferring KDB out for Rashford, Pogba.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah. I think that, to be honest with you, isn't too bad of a shout. I think, yeah, Rashford, he had that rest surprisingly, didn't he, against Fulham?
Yeah.
So he probably shouldn't miss many minutes from now on in. Pogba's looking like a new beast, isn't he? He's scoring. Not only is he the winning goals, he's all
28
over.
points in the last 4 game weeks for Pogba.
Yeah, and we saw what he was like when, I think it was Ollie first took over, him and Rashford. I mean, they just both were just ridiculous, weren't they? And if he is going to be hitting back to that form, the bloke I think he was actually unlucky to score against Liverpool as well. So, yeah, Pogba's looking like he is playing more deeper, but he's ticking along nicely. If I had to give a Man United asset, I wouldn't put you off Rashford actually now. But like I said, you're in a different boat to me. You've obviously got Foden, so you are covered there with the Man City attack. I haven't actually got a Man City attacker at the minute. So that's why I am looking to go from KDB to someone in Man City. I've already got Bruno. But yeah, I think that's where I'm sat with KDB. Now, if you were to own Vardy, then what do you think about that?
I feel if I own Vardy, again, that's really unfortunate. He's going to be out with a hernia. I think that's going to be a month out.
It's a lot less options, isn't it?
It's a simple operation, and he'll have all the aftercare, but it can pour and it can be tight. So even if he comes back, his minutes might be managed. Therefore, I definitely think it's worth getting rid of Vardy. The obvious choice would be, if you were a KDB and a Vardy owner, you would need to downgrade KDB for $1 million, so you could up Vardy to Kane. I think
there's a mil price difference in there.
I think that's the number one replacement. But the problem you've got, if you are only making one transfer, and that's Jamie Vardy, and you haven't got any money in the bank, you ain't going to be able to do it, because I think Kane's a million more.
Yeah, he is. He's 11-1 and Vardy's 10-1. I think it's actually, the options up front, it's scarce, isn't it? There's not many options up front, I think, compared to midfield. There's loads of options, I think, in midfield from, to go from De Bruyne, but up top, there's literally no one if I had Vardy, I'd want, apart from Kane. I already own Bamford and Antonio. I literally don't think, there are many options. So for me, I would find that 1 mil and I'd go to Kane. Simple as.
I mean, some managers are very reluctant to take hits, though, but that could be a -4 that's worthwhile.
I think so.
Because what you could do, if you don't own KDB and Vardy, you just own Vardy, you could look at your squad elsewhere. You might want to downgrade a defender. If I was on I mean, I own Trent, which is annoying because if KDB wasn't injured, I think Trent would probably be leaving my team
Yeah,
this
he
game
looked
week, and
terrible,
that's
didn't
an
he?
easy million to find because I think Luca
When
Digne
you got,
at 6 mil. Now he's
yeah,
back.
I
I
like
think
him a
he
lot.
is one to really keep your eyes out for. I think Luca Digne, that left foot is amazing. But I would say,
6 assists so far with Luca Digne in
yeah,
less than 1,000 minutes. So it's just incredible.
unbelievable. But
And yeah,
what I would say, just quickly, is on my notes. I'm just looking down here for Vardy replacements other than Kane. Jesus had 31 minutes against Villa and got an assist. So if you're looking to get into that Man City attack, Jesus could be a way to go. I'm not overly keen on that, but
I'd prefer Cavani than
I've
him.
gone down. I've got Martial and Cavani down as well. The
Yeah,
reason I've got Martial and Cavani down is the obvious problem with those two is I don't know which one's going to start. I don't actually
yes,
know
hard, isn't it?
whether if I was a Cavani owner, I'd want him to start because he looks he has a bigger impact off the bench. Um, but yeah, so for Vardy replacements, I've got Kane, Martial, Cavani, or Jesus.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that,
think yeah, they're wild calls, aren't they? I think yeah, you are going big differential there, and I like them a lot. To be honest with you, like you said, you are really scraping the barrel with these forward picks. I would probably stick my full, penny's worth and just go get Kane. I mean, what a time to play Liverpool next at home. And then I think they've got, a few nice games in between, some tough games, but Kane, he's fixture proof. He can score against anyone. So I think that really covers the KDB and Vardy sort of problems if, people out there have them.
yeah, just quickly
More
then,
options.
James. Just quickly on the KDB replacements, I've got a few more names down here. And one of the players, again, that you had a great shout on game week 19 on the pod was Mason Mount. Now, Chelsea have got two huge home games coming up, Wolves and then Burnley. I feel that is going to be deciding whether Frank Lampard keeps his job.
Yeah.
Those two games because then I think they go to Spurs. So Mason Mount, he got a 13-point drop,
Yeah, he did in the double.
and you shouted that. So congratulations! So that you had
Thank you, sir.
Madison and Mason Mount. I think he's
Thank
the only
you.
one you can probably take a risk on in that Chelsea team. He's
Yeah.
6.8 mil,
Yeah,
and he
he's
could be a
consistent, isn't he?
two-game week punt. So I'd like
Yeah.
to say that.
Ticks along.
And also my other two ones to shout for a KDB replacement or just a transfer if you're looking at it is Grealish again. I think they got a nice
Yeah.
swing. Burnley and Southampton, and I'm gonna say it. Luca Digne is back, but so is James Rodriguez
Oh
and
my
DCL,
God.
and we all know how well they all played at the start of the season. That Everton team. So if they can get that firing again, I think James Rodriguez would be an interesting one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going J Rod, but I think I'd go for him when it's probably, 20 degrees outside, not -5. He just looks like the type of snowflake that would just doesn't fancy a cold day. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he is a big differential, and he's, we've seen how quality he is when he's, when he's at the top of his game. So very interesting. I like the J Rod shout, and I do also like the Mason Mount shout. And I think he is probably the one player I'd probably get from Chelsea. He's the one that's consistently playing. And yeah, I think you're right with the two big games for Fatty Frank coming up. So wide range of choices, obviously in midfield, not so much for the attacking wise. Interestingly, it takes all the attention off of Mo Salah. I mean, what was he last 5 game weeks? He's blanked, and the 5 game weeks before that, he's had over 55 points. When we saw him come on,
Liverpool haven't scored a goal in 4 games.
I can't believe that. Is it that? Is that right? I don't know. I just find
Wait.
I don't know what's going on with Liverpool. He looks like a bloke who's off on his travels to probably Spain in the summer. After he got benched against Palace, and he come on and scored that big 16 drop. I thought, right. You looked at the fixtures and you thought they've got United, but they've got some really nice games. They had West Brom in that time, Newcastle. They also just had Burnley at home. You thought to yourself, the bloke is just going to kick on
Yeah.
now. And Liverpool have looked atrocious. I don't know if anyone watching this has got any inside information on what is going on at Liverpool, but they have completely fallen off, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean,
They're gone.
I don't know. I like I say, it's actually hard to find the words to describe what's going on at Liverpool. Um,
Do they need a rest?
I don't think it is a case
Mane,
of the
like,
rest. I think they've lost a bit of mojo. I think when we had old John Evans on the pod weeks back, he was on about how did we look at that Salah benching and that reaction to when Salah got subbed the game before, and it actually now looks like that's had a long-term impact, and there is something unsettling
yeah,
at Liverpool. And it's
definitely.
one of those things where, okay, you might not be winning football matches, but you don't even look like scoring a goal.
They
Like,
don't,
yes,
do
they
they?
had their few chances and whatnot, but that's what you would expect. It's a game of football. You're going to have one or two chances. With
Mm.
Liverpool, they used to be firing multiple chances from multiple channels in every game. And now you look at it, and it's like that one shot. Is Salah going to score that
Yeah,
one shot?
yeah.
And
They
it's
seem to
really hard
lose
to say.
belief, don't they? I
Yeah,
think they
it's
lose
really hard to say.
belief. I think when they don't score within that first half, I think they really start to doubt themselves. And I don't know if these front three, I think Bobby Firmino has been an absolute myth the last 2 years. I think everyone bigged him up as this number, this false nine or this number 10, providing all the chances for Mane and Salah. But he's been an absolute fraud to be actually playing in the Prem last 2 years. I'm sorry, but I used to be a big fan of Bobby, but he is so bad. They need to get him out. They need to get someone new. And I don't know if there's worth a change. And I think it was on Sky the other day where when you look at all the big clubs, how when the main strikers perform within 3 years of playing with each other, let's just say, for example, Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney, they had 3 years and then one of them was off. You got Messi, you've got Suarez and Neymar, 3 years, and then one of them was off. So it's a time for change, I think, with them front three. I think at least one will go in the summer. And I think that's probably what it is. It's their fourth season playing together, and one of them needs to,
Yeah, I
leave.
think
So
they needed a fresh face, didn't they? They needed someone
they
like
do.
Werner to come in, and you always need someone, regardless of whether you're the best team in the world, going into the next season as a player in that dressing room. If your club have made a big signing, it's just something
Mm.
new and something
Shakes it up,
exciting.
doesn't it? Yeah,
And I
spices
feel with
things
that
up.
Liverpool side, there's so much pressure on certain players that
Mm.
it's almost got to the point now when you have had a run of games where you're
Yeah.
struggling, it's going to be hard to see where do you turn that around. Are you looking for a couple of penalties to get yourself a couple of goals? And if you are,
Looks like they are.
do you know what I mean? It's
Looks
very
like they need
difficult.
because they ain't going to score any otherwise.
Yeah, which is annoying though, because the thing is, if KDB wasn't injured this game week, I think we would be talking
Yeah,
a lot on this
totally
pod
agree.
about are we
Liverpool
going to take
assets.
Salah out? Am I going to take Trent out? If you own Mane, he's had a price drop overnight, so people have obviously taken
Mm.
Mane out. But now I'm forced into holding Salah and Trent because of the injury to KDB.
Yeah, just about to say
Um,
that. It does take draws the attention away from the Liverpool assets. I've only got Salah from Liverpool, but the problems which we have got from De Bruyne, and if you do have Vardy, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have De Bruyne, Salah, and Vardy and want to get
yeah,
rid of all three of them and have to do
absolutely,
two.
absolutely.
So
So it's really difficult, isn't it? But like I say,
it's
we're
going to have
sort
to
of
stay.
forced into holding. So I think we'll Liverpool playing Spurs next. Now, historically, Liverpool don't really struggle against Spurs. They are one of the teams that when Spurs go to Anfield, I always feel like Liverpool are gonna win the match. So it's gonna be really interesting to see
It's
uh,
at Spurs this game.
where they're at. Yeah, I know that. It's just interesting to see now. That's what I mean. Where it's going to be, where it's at. If Liverpool
Yeah.
go out and get beat 2-0, for example, then the wheels are really coming off
Mm.
in Merseyside. So look, anyway, should we have a look ahead to your game week 20 team then?
Yeah, let's do it because I've already made my moves. So, which is a little bit ballsy, but there we are. As you can see, I've gone for the big Razza. Um, I can't believe he's in my team first of all, but he does excite me. I've got a love-hate relationship with him, as we all probably do. So I brought him in. I don't think I would have brought him in if everyone was, it sounds a bit hypothetical, but everyone was the same price. I probably wouldn't go near him, but I just can't. I don't want 4 or 5 mil in my bank. And the big thing is I will be captaining him for the Sheffield United game. Sorry, they've got next week, I believe, at home. I think there's quite a few tough games for the other big teams. So I've gone Big Razza, and I've also brought in Diaz for a -4. So I don't think West Brom will score past Man City, so that should recuperate the points. And I think they just look solid, don't they, Stonesy and Diaz? I could have gone Cancelo, but again, I really don't want the headache of him being benched. He got benched in the double game week, and owners got stung. So I've gone with the two, solid defenders with Diaz and Stones, who seem to be getting more attacking returns than
I think
Cancelo.
So, shout. Like I said, I think going from KDB to Sterling will probably be the most popular pick amongst FPL managers making
I have actually seen something on Twitter just recently that already 33% of people that have taken out KDB have gone Gundogan. So out of the people that have got rid of KDB, 33% have gone Gundogan.
So what
now,
I would say there is he's probably on pens and they're going form.
Yeah.
And obviously he's 6 million cheaper. So
he is,
fantastic.
Yeah. I can't put him off Gundogan. I'm a bit sour with Gundogan. He scored 4 goals in 5 games. And the only time he didn't score was when we had him in that blank. Reluctant to bring him in last week. Probably wouldn't have obviously done it. It's all a bit hindsight that. And then he goes and gets an 18 drop, scores twice, doesn't he? So Gundogan's a great shout. Wouldn't put you off that. But yeah, that's me, mate. Sterling, Diaz. What about you?
I've obviously looked at it as well. This happened last night, and I woke up to see Paul Pogba in the team. Big Paul.
Well, a nice surprise that is.
Well, to be honest with you, I looked at it, and like I just said earlier in the pod, I'm not sure how that West Brom City game's going to go now. I think we're really going
I could see you creating some sort of like energy towards a Man United asset earlier. If people watching this want to know why, this is probably the reason why you just try to back your drunken move last night up. And you put the vice captaincy on him. So when Bruno gets a rest and he starts.
I don't think that. I mean, Bruno looks like he's set to be my captain. He could have had multiple goals and a double-digit haul in the last match. But more importantly, the reason I didn't go to Sterling is because I did bring Foden in for the double game week.
He
was a flop, Foden, for the double game week. However, he wasn't just brought in for the double game week. He was brought in for this run of fixtures. So I'm actually, weirdly, it's going to be quite nice to see where he plays if he does start against West Brom now KDB's injured. But yeah, I went with Pogba. Pogba's in form, 28 points in the last 4 game weeks. They've got a home time against Sheffield United, which I expect, the way this league is shaping up, they need to go on and absolutely smash them and really start putting the pressure on now, because this last week, it seems like it's turning into Manchester United's favour. They got the draw, which, by the way, great shout predicting 0-0, Paul versus United. But they got that draw. Now they've got a little run of games. I think they can really march on. City have obviously got their best player injured. Liverpool are all over the shop. And the rest of the chasing pack. So I'm going to back United to continue their good form, and therefore I've gone with Poggers. So yeah, just to confirm then, I've transferred Pogba in for KDB, and I'm going to be captaining Bruno Fernandes. I think he's got the best fixture, so I'm going to go with that. What about you, James? What have you decided on?
Very nice, yeah. So reluctantly had to do a -4. I've gone with Sterling, but captaincy I've gone Bruno, and I've brought in Diaz as well. So I've gone double City. I think they'll keep a number of clean sheets in the next 10 games. Hopefully 3 on the bounce. They've got 3 easy games. But that's what I'm looking at now. A couple of things I want to do in the pipeline. I want to get rid of McCarthy for Martinez, but I'm no in real rush for that. And get rid of Chris Shitty Wood, who's on my bench. But the start of 11 is not too bad. So, yeah, I think he'll make do. What about you, mate?
Lovely. Yeah. So, like I say, that's a nice team you got there. You got a few things to patch up, but
Yeah,
I think Bruno is the standout captain
yeah, he's
choice.
definitely.
And I look forward to game week 20. I'm not too sure how many points I'm predicting.
No, me
But let's
neither.
have a little look then, and let's wrap it up with our flutter. The flutter of the week last week, which was you said Man City to keep 2 clean sheets. I
And
said
win. And win.
um, I said West Ham to beat Burnley. It
Yeah,
was about 5.5 to 1 and it come in.
yeah.
So if anyone was on that, congratulations, that come in. We've had a really solid week. This week, I'm going to go for Leeds to win away at Newcastle, just below even money.
Very nice. I'm trying to think, what did I actually say for my picks? You said Leeds, and I was going to go.
I think you're saying Chelsea, aren't you?
Yeah,
What
that's
you
it.
text me
Chelsea,
here?
that was it. You tell, obviously, I didn't think too much into it. But yeah, no, Chelsea, just seen they're winning the FA Cup. But yeah, no, Chelsea to beat Wolves.
Yeah,
I think
and
Wolves
they're
are
4 to
dire at the minute.
7, so their odds on as well, and the double comes in at 2.06, so just over 2 to 1, literally. Anything else that you want to add? I think we've had a great game week 19, and hopefully we can continue the trend into game week 20.
Yeah, completely agree. Hope everyone else had a good double game week. Hope if there is anyone out there who got the 100 points mark, congratulations. And yeah, let's keep them green arrows and let's keep moving up the mini league.
Nice one, James. Well, good luck all for game week 20, and see you next time.
Cheers, guys.